What's good, everybody? Here at Atlanta, Vegas, live and direct and live. I just want to talk about the Coach Vick experience, episode one, season one. Said that backwards, but anyway, let's get into it. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I thought it was amazing in terms of the production. I thought it was very nice in how it showed the outlay of the Hampton Roads area, specifically with Norfolk. Uh, I was very impressed with like the side roles and just the way that everything was produced. It was a nice touch as well to incorporate Vic's family as well. I thought that had like a heartwarming uh, element to it as well. His wife Kiafa, I was pronouncing it wrong for years. I thought it was Kajafa, but Kiafa. I thought it was a nice touch to bring her into the storyline with their kids, the way that they have to live in a long distance setting, especially with their daughter going through her senior year of high school in Florida. It's very nice family, very nice looking family. They all look like they could, be taking pictures for Hallmark cards and stuff. Uh, for those that don't know, if you've been living on the rock, Michael Vick, ex football player, uh, I believe he's a future Hall of Famer. He's definitely involved with something new in terms of being the head coach of a Division One college football program at Norfolk State. You definitely see the progressions from a little bit through the summer workouts to the first game of the season, and you could definitely see that he's definitely new to this in terms of coaching. There was like a lot of things that I don't want to say a lot, but it was a good number of things that I found a little discomforting. First and foremost, let's talk about the quarterback competition. I'm just going to jump right into it. There's two guys there's going against each other. One guy, his name is Otto. He's a senior. He's been at NSU for some time. Uh, this last year, college football versus an incoming transfer. A young man, his name is Izzy or Israel Carter. Izzy is a former Mr. All, you know, Alabama. I think it was 5A football, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think it was 3A. I'm not sure. Either way, he was the MVP for his division in Alabama. And he transferred in, they battled it out, and Izzy won the battle for the beginning of the season. If you look at even some of the replays from the reps, I know it cuts it down. You can't really see the everyday practice sessions. You could clearly see that the team, for the most part, favored Otto. Otto is they're both, in my opinion, dual threat quarterbacks because Otto can run. Otto is a white quarterback. So stereotypically, you're hearing the game, he's sneaky athletic. Fast for a white guy, whatever. But all jokes aside, he's a solid quarterback. He can throw. He makes his reads, uh, and he can scoot a little bit. Israel, he's athletic, and I say it like that because Izzy, if you looked at his play throughout the season, he's terrible. He's not a good quarterback at all. Matter of fact, I don't think he's a college quarterback at the D1 level. Honestly, I feel like he's a Division 3 quarterback, like skill wise. Um, there are players that perform better in practice, so maybe that's what happened. But at the same time, let's start off with this. Izzy, unbeknownst to me and some other people that was announced on the show, knew Michael Vick since he was 13 because his godfather has a special relationship with Vick with their homies. And that's where we're going to transition to the other problem here. Vick, I feel like, came to Norfolk State with his homeboy hookups. And that's very dangerous when you do that. If you look at the people that he hired, You know, some of these guys are people he grew up around with. Some of these guys he might have met in the NFL circles. And as you saw, they eventually had a 1-11 season. And I mean no disrespect to some of those guys, but anytime that you pick your quarterback, you pick the people that work around you based off of y'all being cool versus who's the best position to work at those positions or play, you're going to run into some problems most likely. Even Drayshawn Kendrick was a homie hookup because his father, uh, Dre Kendrick, was his running back at Virginia Tech. It worked out though. Drayshawn, I'm sure they're going to get more into his storyline because I haven't watched the other episodes just yet. But the long and short of it is, Drayshawn played 4 years at William and Mary and only had about like a few hundred yards in production. So if you look on paper, you'll be like, oh, this guy wasn't that good at all. He was a bench warmer. But I remember looking at his film, and when he was on that field, you could see in the way that he moved. John Madden used to say it all the time, and they even like had him say it in the video games of Madden. The stats don't tell you how athletic a catch or play was, and that's what the case with Jay Sean. I said to myself, I said this dude has a lot of potential because if you even go back to his high school, he was missed all everything in Virginia. I believe they're from on the western side of the state. I can't remember which city right now exactly. I'm thinking it's like, is it Lynchburg? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, the kid has talent, and it worked out. That homie hookup worked out. The homie hookup that didn't work out was the quarterback in Israel Carter. Because, like I said, if you look at just even the Townsend game, he couldn't set his feet right. He panicked in the pocket. The offensive line could have definitely played better. But at the same time, just the way he threw the ball, the way he acted, he looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And it seemed like, even with Otto, both of those guys got egos because Vick, when he told Otto that he was going to be the second string, Otto caught attitude, which is understandable because Otto clearly is the better quarterback, was outperforming him. However, when you're on a football team or any team for that matter, you have to do things for the betterment of the team. And in that role, unfortunately, you're just going to have to, like Vic said, trust the process. I do believe he was wrong in his approach about that. And it got bad to the point where Otto, he caught a little a little tantrum where he kicked the ball over the fence, at practice, and he wasn't feeling it. And I understand because again, Israel just he's not a quarterback, and Otto is clearly. I'll put it to you this way: Otto's from Ohio and Columbus. Otto is in my opinion, a MAC conference level quarterback, and that's how I feel how good he was. If he was at Ohio State, he'll definitely be either the second or third string quarterback. So Norfolk State was blessed to have him compared to just being stuck with Izzy and whoever else is behind. Um, but at any rate, I felt like Vic got a little cocky because he was like, "You must be out your mind if you think I don't know what I'm doing." And I'm like, brother, clearly there were some things that you were a little bit over your head. Now, I can't take away his pro excellence. I can't take away the fact that he does know the game. What's the difference between knowing the game as a football player than as a coach? And then once you delve in the coaching aspect, there's difference between knowing the game as a professional coach and as a college coach. It's two totally different things. I want to say Jim Johnson, Pete Carroll are two coaches of kind of mind that was successful and championship coaches on both levels. That's extremely rare. So with that being said, I feel like that hopefully this is a learning lesson for Vic transitioning to year two, where he eventually makes some changes that I'm gonna go into as the episodes come along the way as I watch them, and things are just changed, and he see things objectively and not from the heartstrings. Um, so, like I said, show is incredibly produced, incredibly produced. Also, it also shows that Norfolk State was an undisciplined football team. You could just sometimes you can look at players, especially quarterback, and you can tell, if they did dog or not. It sounds silly, but sometimes you can look at a guy that had a good career where he was beforehand, but when they go to college or when they go to pro, you can look at them and tell whether they got it or not. You can just look at them. It's just the way that aura comes off. And a lot of those players, in my opinion, they, where I come from, from Hampton, who call them Wookiees. But the silver lining in this is that this is good because, again, this could be mistakes that he can learn from and build on as a coach. I really feel that things will be better next season. I do want to comment too on a couple of things with some of the staff. It was nice touch seeing AD. I forgot her name. I think her name is Melody. I'll call her NSC trainer because if you close your eyes and you hear her talk, she sounds exactly like the rapper trainer. So that's why I call her NSC trainer. Just like I used to call the previous coach, and I forget his name. Oh, Coach Dawson Odoms, who's coaching at Bowie State, by the way. I used to call him Big Perm because he looked exactly like Faison Love. But that's neither here or there. Wasn't too fond of the guy Ross that they had up there because dude was behind the production of that really bad, tacky press conference. I'm like, bruh, you don't even touch nothing near electronic. You don't even need to be near no TV screens. You just need to sit and that's a whole different conversation. But it was good that they showed you different sides from the staff, the support staff, the football players, and the coaches. So I thought that was a good show. I don't mean to be too critical about it because again, Vick is one of my heroes, one of my favorite football players. It was cool seeing him, and with his wife again. With a surprise party, and Jada Kiss was up there, Allen Iverson, some of the other 757. I like to call 757 royalty. It was just a dope show. I look forward to see what it's like on the second episode and just catching up a little bit. So that's all I got from right now. That's my time. I'm about to get back to work.